Hey guys, I figured I'd do another video. It's like 2:30 in the morning and I can't sleep. I just have just a lot that's like marinated over time and those aha moments. And man, talk about like phases in life or just kind of getting stuff and like why I am the way I am and all those types of stuff. Um And my thing is like, I want to help, right? Sometimes I can tend to help too much and then I deplete myself and I have nothing left for me. Um, Anyways, I was thinking uh, some hard stuff, man. Um, I was thinking back about 5 years ago and I, during Christmas time, I was a friggin' hot mess. I waited 3 years to go to school, to medical school. And once I got to medical school in the military, it was rough. It was rough because the person, and I'm not placing blame, this is just like lessons in life and things that we go through. Um, the person, my ex husband that I was with, he began to use, and my daughter was like 18 months at the time. And basically, I went to school. And when you go in this school, there's like, I don't know, maybe there was 35 of us. So right from the get, they tell you whoever gets the best grades gets to pick their location of where they want to go. And they'll give you a list of 35 places in the US. So right from the get, you're going in not as students, but also competition. So, what does that leave you with? Are you able to make friends? I don't know. Um, Defenses are up. It's like, God, what is that movie? The Mockingjay thing. Uh, you know what I'm talking about. Hopefully, with Candace, I think her name is. So, basically, our Katniss, Candace. Anyways, so right there is a challenge. Challenge number two is husbands using, is the person that's taking after your kid. And do I say anything or can I get help for that? At the time, I was like, this is a lot on my plate, but I'm going to try and go home on weekends. And then it turned into weekends and weekdays. And it got harder and harder and scarier until I called a friend and she had said, you know what to do. It was December 13th, and there came a conclusion with that. But I also had to finish out school strong, and I had to fly my daughter to Florida. Um, so basically, a person had told me, a chief had said, you're in the military, and when you're in the military, you have to sacrifice. So you can't be a single mom and go to school at the same time. You have to do morning runs. You have to be able to be after class and do study. And so they moved me on base. And the only reason I could get a house was because I had two dogs at the time. And eventually I had to give the two dogs away. I just think about all this stuff in life. Like every time I'm in a relationship and I get an animal, like I wind up giving them away. Because it's too much on my plate. Anyways, so much is bubbling up. So right there and then, like an emotional intelligence, right? You can't really use that in those circumstances where you're basically like a pawn. You're wearing the same thing everybody else wears. You're no different than anybody else. Um, and I mean, that's the mentality it kind of gives you. That's what it gave me. And then moving to New York and dealing with a higher up that basically gaslighted a lot of people. And in that time in my life, I was not in the really great mindset. I had a whole lot of stress. A person that told me all these different things that would happen once I arrived there that did not happen. I'm going to give you extra time for this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And that was not granted. And then arriving and everybody knowing your business. So it's like, didn't even have like a healthy start, or being able to just walk in somewhere and meet people. Like, what was fed to them was their perception of me. So it seemed doomed from the get. And here we are now in 2020. And there's all these different things going on with jobs and what's going on and what's the rules and regulations of masks and distances and what we can and cannot do, basically. And so with that, it's like we're kind of left in our locality, right? Of like where we're living, what we're doing, and all that other stuff. And you can feel competition with that as well, you know? I think, you know, and thank God, like, I can finally feel like I can be who I want to be, and it doesn't matter what other people think. It's really about love. It's really about connection, and, you know, and any kind of relationship as well. Like, our mouth is the rudder to the boat. Like, where do we want to go? What are we going to say? Are we going to think before we act? And awareness without action is bullshit. And our biggest common denominator is we're human. And we make mistakes, and we see all these things happen in life. Fuck, man. It's COVID, mental health, drugs, addiction. And what are we left with right now? Like, it's switched the whole room upside down, a whole new way of living. So it's like adjusting to that and rolling with the punches. And here's the number one thing, right? When I was in rehab, my counselor said to me, "What do you think being in the now is?" And I was like, "Oh, that's simple. How ridiculous." You know, like, that's getting my kid ready for school. That's going to the grocery store. That's doing this. That's doing that. And she's like, "That is not living in the now." And I just bawled my eyes out because I wanted to be right. And she was like, being in the now is being in the present. And I think that's where we're at, man. We do not know where anything is going. And it could be a certain answer on one thing, and then it's like, oh, no, wait, we're going to change it. And it's like, after you've been fooled so many times, it's like, fuck that. Like, I'm not going to give my brain this stuff that it's being fed. And I'm going to go with discernment and what feels right in my gut. And if you know the answer to something, or you have a solution, and you see someone suffering, or they're scrambling trying to figure something out, like, if you have knowledge for that, or if you have experienced something, like, give it away. Help out. And you know, I think what it comes more and more down to, like, Facebook, right? It's great. It's great to connect. You know, I have bad thinking and I have good thinking. Most of us feel like shit after we log out. like honestly, you know, it's like, I guess I've been in a lot of different places in my life to understand, like, different experiences, whether I was married, whether I was single, whether I had a boyfriend, you know, if I need a man in my life. You know, there's like different things that happen. And I don't need all this outside, you know. A lot of stuff is distraction, you know, and what it's pulled me to a lot toward the end of the year is like my kid. Like, to me, in the beginning of this year, January 13th, finding out that my ex-husband passed away from a drug overdose. And I felt like I was grieving him when he was alive. And once I got the news, it was like, okay, yeah. Okay, it happened. And it took a while for that to sit in because of distracting. And like, I just want to be like, all right, you know, we're moving forward. And I cannot do that. Like, if I suppress one emotion, I'm suppressing them all. And, you know, getting my kid therapy and having her intake person ask me, do you think she's lonely? And then me having to take a good look at myself, because I want to stay busy. I want to make sure I'm doing everything I can when I'm depleting my energy in all these different areas that, you know, it's hard. Like, to go out and be able to love on your friends' kids and appreciate them, or my niece and my nephew. And it's a hard hit when it's like, you know, it's hard when it's your own kids sometimes, because every kid needs different love. And to not just shut the door on the past, you know, to learn from it. We all struggle through different things. And, you know, especially like when schools shut down, and they are shut down now in some places. And we don't realize, like, you know, you have a relationship or you bring children into this world. It's a totally different course in life. And what a blessing for that. You know, I love Addison. I love my daughter. She's my grounding stone. And if it wasn't for her, you know, I do not know where I would be, but I don't think it would be a good place. But thank God for life. Try to do the best that we can and be there for one another. And like, you're not alone, you know? Like, why do you think I like to be a photographer? Like, I love photography because I get to freeze time for a minute and really embrace what was there and see the magic. And sometimes when I question, like, I've got all this stuff to do, it's like, you know, I get to do that. I get to do that. I get to try and strive to be the best that I can be every day. We're here to evolve. We're not here to repeat history. And we can use our voice, you know. And if there's something that you've always wanted to do, you can do it no matter what. Like, just believe that I believe. My head was just going. And just so many epiphanies and realizations lately. And like, we all go through stuff. We really do. And it's not easy. But I don't think life is for the weak, you know. And yeah, we can try and suppress and distract. We're not always going to be perfect. And there's no such thing as perfect. But just some stuff to put out there. I love you all, and you know, let's just get another 24 hours in, you know, the next 24, we'll see the day after Christmas. All right, much love, guys. Hope you have a great day, night, whenever you watch this. If you do, much blessings.